It's the start of Pride Month, and for the entire month of June, KRON 4 is celebrating those who've made a big impact on the LGBTQ community in the Bay Area.
And this year, the theme is All in This Together. And this morning, we recognize Justice Martin Jenkins, who sits on the California Supreme Court. We have KRON 4's Sanaz Tahernia with his story.
From the classroom to the locker room, and now the courtroom. California Supreme Court Justice Martin Jenkins has risen to greatness as the first openly gay justice on that bench. Justice Jenkins grew up in San Francisco's Ingleside neighborhood, attending St. Michael's Catholic School. As the son of two parents who grew up in Jim Crow South, he was raised to be a proud black man. And it wasn't until later on that he realized he's gay.
But it certainly became evident to me in my high school years that I had attractions to the same sex.
Justice Jenkins' path to the high court was an unconventional one, with several different stops along the way.
What I wanted to be is I wanted to be a muni bus driver.
There was no bus stop on his route, but there was a stop on the field. After graduating high school, Justice Jenkins enrolled at Santa Clara University and was captain of the football team there. His plan at the time was to graduate and become a high school teacher and a football coach, but things didn't go quite as he planned.
Head coach at Santa Clara was a gentleman by the name of Pat Malley, and he said, I think you should go to law school. You have good grades, you're team captain, you're a leader amongst the players on this team, and I think you could make more of a contribution to your neighborhood.
After graduating in 1977, Justice Jenkins applied to several different law schools, but as luck would have it, his career path took a short but an entirely unexpected detour.
I was a free agent with the Seahawks.
Yes, you heard correctly. Justice Jenkins was a defensive back for the Seattle Seahawks in 1977. He only played a couple of preseason games before realizing being a free agent wouldn't provide the security that a career in law would. He took his first step off of the football field and into the legal field and enrolled in USF School of Law. And it turned out he was thriving. He graduated in 1980, receiving an award for exceptional distinction in scholarship, character, and activities, catapulting himself onto an impressive path. In 1989, former California Governor George Deukmejian appointed him to the judges bench at the Oakland Municipal Court. From there, he continued up the judicial ranks to the Alameda County Superior Court, the California Court of Appeals, the United States District Court, and finally, the highest court in the state. He is the first openly gay justice on the state Supreme Court bench, but it wasn't until his early 60s that he came out as gay, meaning he lived most of his adult life suppressing his sexual identity. Now at 67, the justice is living his best life with his partner, Los Angeles realtor Sydney Shand. But while his homosexuality wasn't a public focal point, it has been the fuel for his success.
Anyone who knows me knows my identity has been, as a gay man, perhaps the greatest challenge of my life. And it has not been easy. I am not here in spite of the struggle. I'm here because of the struggle.
If you're wondering what Justice Jenkins likes to do when he's not reviewing cases,
I'm taking piano lessons, and specifically jazz piano, and I've been engaged in that for about 3 years. And the one thing that I've come to know, you talked about I've done a lot of things and mastered quite a bit. Well, I will not master jazz piano in this lifetime.
And I'd be willing to bet that we'll see him performing on stage soon enough. Sanaz Tahernia reporting, KRON 4 News.
I wouldn't be surprised, right? From the NFL to law to, sure, jazz piano.
Oh, if anybody could tackle it, I'm sure he could conquer it. Amazing. What a wonderful story. We'll be right back with more in just a minute. Yeah.